In the last session, we have discussed about some of the topics regarding the important points of life processes. Our topic is life processes. Our topic is life processes. In this topic, we studied many things along. What do you mean by life processes? What are the points which we expect in life processes? What are the characteristics of living organisms? How can we consider whether the organism is alive or not? What is the source of energy? After gaining of energy, what do living organisms do with that? What does nutrition mean? What does respiration? Why we need transport system, and also the excretion. So let's discuss all these subtopics in briefly. First thing, each and every living organism need food. After gaining of food, it need to break down the food and to gain energy for other works. That's why nutrition play a very vital role in each and every living organism for the purpose of work, for the purpose of life sustenance, for the purpose of reproduction, for the purpose of its life expectancy to be continued. That's why nutrition play a very vital role. So, what do you mean by this nutrition? As I already told, what is the definition of nutrition? Nutrition is nothing but gaining of food. Nutrition is nothing but gaining of food from external environment. From external environment. The organism need to find the food, take the food, and it need to ingest the food. That is called as nutrition. So, the source of energy. What is the source of energy? As I already told, food. Food is the source of energy. Each and every organism need to attain food for the purpose of attaining energy. Food gives us energy. Each and every living organism needs to search the food, eat the food. That food, in the same food, gives energy for other physical activities of the living organism. That's why the nutrition, the source of energy is food. Why we need this energy? Why we need this energy? Because to do some functions, to do some physical movements, to do some physical activities, and some of the inner micro movements are also called as minor movements which is present in our cells. To attain that movement, we need this energy. That's why energy is most important thing in each and every living organism. In the situation like when we are asleep, do we need energy? When we are sleeping also, we need energy. Whenever our physical activities are nil, whenever our physical activities are nil, in situation like during sleep, when we are asleep, in that situation also we need energy. Why? We are doing nothing. We don't have any work in sleep. We don't need to do anything in sleep. However, our body needs energy maintain homeostasis. To maintain homeostasis. So what do you mean by this homeostasis? Homeo means the internal environment of our body. Stasis. Homeo means our internal environment. Stasis means same or stable. We need to maintain inner environment stable. For example, our brain cells, also called as neurons, nerve cells, they are working continuously or whatever we are doing. Just like when you are working, our neurons are active. When we are eating the food, our neurons are active. When we are doing certain things, whatever it may be, our neurons are active. Somehow, during the sleep also, whenever the organism asleep, in that situation also, the brain cells of that organism are activated. They do a necessary function which is an essential for the living organism to maintain homeostasis. So, what are the examples of this homeostasis? For example, we have certain body temperature, isn't it? We have certain body temperature. We have heartbeat, have certain counts in a minute. We have certain number of heartbeats in a minute. Heart must be beaten at particular number in a situation, whatever it may be. If it stops, our life gets stopped. That's why when we are asleep, when we are in resting stage, when we are in normal stage, in that situation also, our body needs energy. Energy is get from the food. So, after gaining of this energy, our internal environment becomes static. It is stable. The organism is sustainable. So, energy is the most important thing which required by the organism continuously throughout its life. After that, how do organisms get their food? Our question is, how do organisms get their food? How do organisms get their food? The best example is human beings. We human beings, we depend upon plants and animals for our food. We are also called as we eat both plants and animals. But other examples like lion or tiger, these are also called as carnivores. These animals totally depend upon another animal for its food. And some of the organisms like plants. When we take plants as an example, how to obtain their food? Usually plants are having roots, stem, leaves, fruits, flowers as their parts. Some of them are essential, some of them are non-essential in flower, but the remaining physical part of the flower is essential to the plant. For example, in case of plants, roots. These roots emerge from the radical part of the seed. These roots present below the ground. These roots are present below the ground. That's why helps in anchorage, a stable anchorage to the plant. Along with that anchorage, the function of these roots is attaining of raw materials to prepare food. What are the raw materials we can expect by plants? Plants expect some of the raw materials such as water, minerals usually having two types, that is microminerals and macrominerals. Both type of minerals are directly absorbed by these roots. The roots helps in absorption of water and some of the minerals which are essential for the growth of plants and sustaining of these plants. In case of animals, we animals, we don't have any special parts like to absorb nutrition from the soil or something. We are not parasitic in nature. We don't depend upon another organism for our food. Just like spreading my our roots. So that's why in animals we directly or indirectly depend on plants for our food. We directly or indirectly depend upon plants for our food. That's why these plants are usually autotrophic in nature and animals are heterotrophic in nature. This after we know about types of nutrition. We discuss about types of nutrition we also in our ecosystem. Majorly, we have two types of nutrition. Majorly, nutrition has two types. First one is autotrophic. Nutrition. And the second one is heterotrophic nutrition. First one is autotrophic. What do you mean by autotrophic? Auto is nothing but self. They prepare their own food. Autotrophic nutrition is nothing but they tend to prepare their own food. So what are the examples of autotrophic nutrition? All plants which contain chlorophyll. The chlorophyll containing plants comes under autotrophic nutrition. Along with the plants, we can see blue-green algae. These are also autotrophic in nature. Why they are autotrophic in nature? Why they prepare their own food? Why these plants prepare their own food? Why? Because they contain a specialized pigment called as chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a green pigment. Which is present in plants and trees. This chlorophyll helps in preparation of food by these green plants by using raw materials. This autotrophic nutrition having plants and blue-green algae as an example. These plants are also called as, these chlorophyllous green plants are also called as primary producers. These are also called as primary producers. Why we call these plants as primary producers? Why? Because these produce food for whole ecosystem. In the ecosystem, the whole biomass is totally dependent upon these autotrophs. Autotrophs are nothing but these are the green chlorophyllous plants and trees which prepare their own food by using the raw materials such as carbon dioxide, water and sunlight. So, autotrophic type of nutrition is the primary type of nutrition we can observe in our ecosystem. This autotrophic type of nutrition totally depend upon food factor carbon based food. These autotrophs also depend upon are simple organisms. That's why they gain food in the form of inorganic carbon molecules. Inorganic carbon molecules. These inorganic carbon molecules attained in the form of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is abundant in our nature. That's why these autotrophs depend upon our environment for carbon dioxide as inorganic carbon molecules to prepare their food. Along with carbon, they use it to absorb water from the soil. By the help of roots, these autotrophs use it to absorb water from the soil. These are the main raw materials. In which the plant gain from the environment. The food is in the form of inorganic carbon molecule. Along with the carbon dioxide, they gain or absorb water from the ground with the help of roots. After gaining of these raw materials with the help of a physical factor called as sunlight. Sunlight is the main source of energy to prepare the food by these autotrophs. By using these raw materials such as carbon dioxide and water and using a physical factor called as sunlight, they use it to prepare food that is in the form of carbohydrates. By using this raw material and a physical factor that is sunlight, they use it to prepare the food that is in the form of carbohydrates. This process of preparing the carbohydrates or food by an autotrophs by using the raw materials called as carbon dioxide and water and sunlight is called as photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the important process which involves in preparation of food by the green plants by using the raw materials such as carbon dioxide, water along with the sunlight. The product of photosynthesis is carbohydrates. Mainly glucose is the product. Glucose is the product of photosynthesis. The chemical formula is C6H12O6. This is the chemical formula of glucose. A 6 carbon molecule is the product of photosynthesis. After all these carbohydrates are prepared by using a process called as photosynthesis. Primarily, the autotrophs prepare carbohydrates as their food. The next type of nutrition is heterotrophic nutrition. Second one is heterotrophic nutrition. This type of nutrition is especially we can observe apart from all the plants, remaining all the organisms are heterotrophs in nature. They are directly or indirectly depend upon autotrophs. These heterotrophic organisms directly or indirectly depend upon these autotrophs. Why? Because these autotrophs are also called as primary producers. So, what are the examples of We can easily say man. Man is an example for heterotrophic type of nutrition. In heterotrophic nutrition, we have further classified into two types, that is herbivore and carnivore. These are the further classification of heterotrophic of nutrition. In herbivore nutrition, these are the organisms depend on plants for their food. These herbivores are the organisms which depend upon plants for their food. For example, deer, elephants. These are the primary consumers. They consume directly on autotrophs. They consume directly on plants, that is herbivorous organisms. Next one is carnivorous organisms. Depend upon, these carnivores depend upon herbivores. Their food is meat. Food eaten by these carnivores is meat. Somehow these carnivores depend upon herbivores for their food. That's why these are the secondary consumers. These carnivores are also called as secondary consumers. These herbivores are also called as primary consumers. These carnivores are called as secondary consumers. These secondary consumers depend upon primary producers, primary consumers, that is herbivorous organisms. After all this, man, I take man as an example. There is a special feature of man, he depends upon both herbivore and carnivore. He eats both plants and animals. That's why man comes under omnivorous. Man is an omnivorous organism. He depends upon both herbivore and carnivore. He eats both plants and animals. That's why he is omnivorous in nature. Along with this, there is a third type of nutrition, that is some of the heterotrophs. It is a characteristic feature of some of the heterotrophs such that they depend upon, it is the fourth type. First one is herbivore, second one is carnivore, third one is omnivore, fourth one is saprophytes. What do you mean by saprophytes? These are the organisms depend upon dead and decaying organic matter. These saprophytes depends upon dead and decaying organic matter for their food. This comes under the heterotrophic type of nutrition. Example, fungi. All the fungi comes under the saprophytic type of nutrition such that these saprophytes totally depend upon dead and decaying organic matter. They develop on dead and decaying matter. They destroy or they break down the bonds which is present in the complex food substance, make it to simple food substance. After making it to a simple food substance, they ingest the whole. They ingest or they take the food in the form of simple food substance by breaking the bonds which is present in complex one or complex organic matter. So let's discuss these two types of nutrition in detail. As I already told, autotrophs are also called as green plants. They prepare their own food by using a process called as photosynthesis. By absorbing water and minerals from the soil and the sunlight which comes from the sun, they usually prepare food molecules. Okay. In this situation, we can see the diagram of a section of a leaf. Here, we can observe the upper epidermis is bag-shaped cells which is present above the leaf. Above the upper epidermis, a thin protection layer called as cuticle is present. Below that, we can observe the palisade parenchyma cells. These are called as palisade parenchyma cells. These are the specialized cells meant for absorption of sunlight which comes from the sun. This palisade parenchyma cells consist of chloroplast. These palisade parenchyma cells consist of huge number of chloroplasts. These chloroplasts helps in absorption of sunlight which comes from the sun. That's why after absorption of sunlight, these chloroplasts restore the sunlight as a physical source of energy. We can observe reaction centers which is present in the chloroplasts. Reaction centers are nothing but where actual photosynthesis occurs. We have two types of photosystem, photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. We will study about in the higher classes, but in this situation we will discuss about the chloroplast itself. It's enough. Chloroplast stores the energy, the physical form of energy, that is light energy. Light energy is the physical form of energy. This light energy is converted into chemical form of energy. Light energy is a physical form of energy is converted into chemical form of energy through this chloroplast. This is achieved by the cell organelle called as chloroplast. They convert the light energy into chemical form of energy. During the photosynthesis, the first thing is the light energy is converted into chemical form of energy. And the second thing, by using sunlight as a source of energy, we can observe photolysis of water. Photolysis of water. It is the second reaction or second main thing we have to notice during photosynthesis. By using this energy, by using the physical energy that is sunlight, we can observe photolysis of water, breaking of water molecule. By breaking of water molecule, they gain the oxygen molecule and H plus ions. By the help of these H plus and OH minus ions, they reduce the inorganic carbon dioxide into carbohydrates. And finally, they reduce inorganic atmospheric carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. After photolysis of water by using H plus and OH minus ions, the plant is going to reduce the inorganic atmospheric carbon dioxide into carbohydrate. The best example for carbohydrate is glucose. It is done by the process of reduction of the carbon dioxide into carbohydrate. We go through the chemical reaction which occurs during photosynthesis. CO2, it is one of the main raw material which is gained from the environment by the leaves plus water. Water is absorbed. Water is absorbed by the plants with the help of roots. After the plant receives sunlight as an energy packet. sunlight as an energy packet. They use sunlight for the photolysis of water. And the green plants having chlorophyll as a pigment. This chlorophyll pigment helps in the absorption of sunlight and distribution of energy during photosynthesis. The product of photosynthesis is glucose, C6H12O6 plus we have byproducts H2O plus O2. These are the byproducts. We need to balance the reaction. Here we can observe 6 carbon molecules, so 6 carbon dioxide molecules get mixed up with water molecules. 6 water molecules gives rise to C6H12O6 plus H2O. This is the chemical reaction which is undergoing during the process of photosynthesis. This is about autotropic type of nutrition. So the product of photosynthesis is carbohydrate, isn't it? Product of photosynthesis is carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is storable form of energy. It is stored. Carbohydrate is stored in the form of starch. Carbohydrate stored in the form of starch, so that starch can be stored in the plants, usually in the stem of the plants, in the roots of the plants. We can see many types of roots such as conical root. The best example is carrot. Darkest yellow is the example for conical root. Here roots helps in storage of fruit material that is in the form of starch. Potato is sugar. This potato also helps in storage of fruit material in the form of starch. Carbohydrate, the food prepared by the plants, is not directly utilized simultaneously. It is stored in the form of starch. The stored food material acts as reserve food material. The stored food energy is also called as reserve food material. Whenever the plant needs energy, in that situation, this reserve food material get digested. After that, the plant gain energy, whichever it wants. In the case of plants, they store carbohydrate as a source of energy in the form of starch. What about animals? In case of animals, they store the food material in the form of glycogen, or also called as fat. Glycogen or fat is a type of storable food material in plants. This glycogen or fat is present beneath our skin in the adipose tissue. Adipose tissue helps in storage of the reserved food material in case of animals. This is a autotropic type of nutrition which is present in the plants. Next thing is heterotrophic type of nutrition. Heterotrophic form of nutrition. Heterotrophic form of nutrition. In heterotrophic form of nutrition, the food material is complex in nature. Isn't it? The food material is complex in nature. The primary producers produce glucose. The glucose is having 6 carbon molecules that is complex in nature. This heterotrophic type of nutrition, the source of food is complex. They depend upon They depend upon autotrophs for their food. They depend upon autotrophs for their food. Their food is also complex. That's why these heterotrophs are having biocatalysts. These heterotrophs having biocatalysts are also called as enzymes. Are also called as enzymes to digest these complex food molecules into simple molecules before they take the food. That's why heterotrophic nutrition is a type of nutrition in which they directly or indirectly depend upon autotrophic type of nutrition. That's why they are having biocatalysts called as enzymes to digest their food. To digest their food. This after we have to discuss about how the carbon dioxide is gained by green plants. How the carbon dioxide is gained by green plants during photosynthesis. In green plants, they are having a specialized structures called as stomata. These stomata are usually bean-shaped structures which is present in the leaf. These stomata consist of guard cells. Guard cells are also bean-shaped cells helps in opening and closing of stomata. During the gaining of carbon dioxide, these guard cells become turgid. They become open during the time of photosynthesis. During the time of attaining carbon dioxide, they become open. By receiving the water from subsidiary cells, they become turgid. They help in exchange of gases extensively. That's why they receive carbon dioxide from the outer environment. After receiving the carbon dioxide, they become flaccid or flat. Flaccid condition of guard cells denotes the closing of stomata. The turgid structure of guard cells denote opening of stomata. The stomata helps in exchange of gases. Stomata helps in exchange of gases. Along with exchange of gases, they helps in transpiration. Along with exchange of gases, they helps in transpiration. What do you mean by transpiration? Transpiration is nothing but water loss. Water loss which occurs in stomata is called as transpiration. During the exchange of gases, they collect large molecules of carbon dioxide which helps in photosynthesis. There is a certain condition in desert plants. We all know about some of the desert plants such as Cascuda, cactus. These desert plants usually have a special metabolic function. That is, they form an intermediate during the night time. During the night time, they receive carbon dioxide and form an intermediate. After this intermediate react with the sunlight during the daytime to produce food molecule. This is a type of nutrition which is present in the autotrophs. Thank you.